Hey everyone, stick with us versus herd. It's your first time here, like the content, hit subscribe. If you haven't yet subscribed to our options trading live channel, link is below in the description. And if you want to join the UVH fam, our community, links are below in the description to our Discord and our options trading group on Facebook. Right now, S&Ps are down 32, Dow's down 262, NASDAQ is down 102. If you think tomorrow is going to be green or red, comment below. Let me know what you think. And if you could do me a favor, hit the like button on the video. Helps me out. I really, really appreciate it. We had quite a crazy swing at open on the S&Ps. We went up to 28.20 and hit down to 27.20, 100-point swing within 30 minutes, which has just been insane. And right now they're just been kind of hanging out around the 27.40, 27.50 area. You know, coming off a losing week last week, I'm going to just be kind of taking it easy, mostly focusing on my day trades this week, mainly because that's where I saw the most success within the last week was my day trades. My swing trades didn't work out so great. My day trades, I really hit a lot of them, so that's what I'll be focusing on this week and probably for next week as well, until I can kind of see what happens with the swing trades, until I want to taste that a little bit again. But right now, what I'm looking for on SPY is, I'm looking for it to potentially come down, not tomorrow or anything, but kind of overall this week, potentially revisiting this 260 area. If it come down to this 260 area and then bounce back up, I think that would be pretty healthy for the market. We have a couple things to be looking at for this week right now. OPEC just finalized their production cut, 9.7 million barrels a day. We also have the unemployment report or weekly jobless claim on Thursday, which is probably going to be pretty huge. I mean, I know that hasn't really meant a whole lot to the market lately, because every time that report comes out, we do rally pretty huge. But I don't know how much longer we can go on for with saying X amount of million jobs were lost within the past week. I mean, right now everything's still shut down. People are still losing jobs. Stimulus checks are supposed to be hitting this week, so we'll definitely see what happens. And also, I'll get to this in a second, but we're going to have earnings are on deck with the banks this week. We'll cover that in just a second. But, right now, what I am looking for on SPY is to potentially revisit this 260 area. It might, like I was saying on Friday, it may want to push back up to 290. I'm not sure if it has the momentum to get there. I mean, we could be pushing up overnight right now, because it's kind of leveled out on the S&Ps right now. SPY's at 276, and maybe we'll revisit. I was also thinking that we could revisit like the 288, 290 area before coming back down, but I think a lot is going to have to do with what the banks report this week. And the banks are going to be, they're not going to have all the answers, because their data is not going to include all of the coronavirus numbers, but they are going to speak on it. We definitely know all of them are going to speak on it. And going at JP Morgan, all the banks had a pretty huge day on Friday, and I really do think that this could either push back up to 110 area up right here, or potentially come back down here. So maybe if we could get some pricing on some sort of iron condor above 110 and then maybe below 90, might be a good position on an iron condor if we can get that. I don't know if what the option pricing is coming in at. Right now I was expecting a $10 move on the week, is at 91%. So not terribly high, but we can see if we can get an iron condor on this. We'll see what happens on Monday with the option pricing and where JP Morgan opens up at. Bank of America, I mean, the chart looks pretty similar. We had a little consolidation here. We had a pop up. So, pretty much the same play on the banks. Whatever JP Morgan reports, I mean, other banks are going to react that day as well. So it's going to be really interesting right now. Also, oil is up. We actually had kind of a crazy move on oil at market open. It did push all the way up to almost 25, went up to like 24.80, came down to 22, and now it's at 23.87 on that deal. So it is up 4% or almost 5%. It did come down. So oil is going to be huge this week. Seeing where this goes, it could potentially push the market up, which is probably why we saw this big down move, and now it's like relatively holding. So, there's a lot to be decided this week, and there's a lot of variables. One of the bigger variables out there is there's going to be some optimism, I think, because Fauci is saying that we could be opening up in May, which is right now we're about 3 weeks from the first week of May. We're about 3 weeks out right now, so a lot can happen in here. He's saying that we're going to have some cautious optimism that the deadly coronavirus outbreak is slowing down in the U.S. However, right now everyone is still sitting inside their homes. We're not traveling. We're not going to work. We're not going anywhere. So that is why that's what they wanted to happen. They didn't want the hospitals to be overcrowded, and they didn't want to use up all the resources in the hospitals or anything like that. All the ventilators, all the personnel, everything like that. So it's going to be very interesting with this. If there's optimism, he's saying that the country won't suddenly turn back on like a light switch. There are indications that some of the metrics used to gauge the crisis are starting to level off in some areas. So, there's a lot of discussion. Do they let people go back that have gotten the virus that are now immune? How do they do this? And they don't know yet. So, but just be aware that there may be some optimism this week that, as we get closer to May and there's more talks of opening the economy back up, the market may react to that in a positive way. So we just need to be mindful of that. Also, another stock that I'm trading is going to be Apple this week. Apple had a pretty crazy run on Friday before selling off, and it did pop back up at near the close there, and then after hours it moved up to 269 area after closing at 267.99. What I'm looking at on here is, can it push up above this candle on the 271, 272 area? If not, I do think that it's probably going to revisit the 260 area, the lower 260 area as well. So that is something that I'm watching out for. I'm going to make this video short and sweet because I don't have a lot of trades rolling into Monday because I closed most of my positions to kind of just gear up for more of the day trades that I want to do. So if you watch this video to the end, comment watch to the end, let me know what your thoughts are for this week. Hit the like button and definitely appreciate it. As always, stay safe, stay green. It's us versus herd.